Hello once again in my videos, and today we're going to be checking out this girl's video, and I really did not think it was what it was when I first looked at it. It's called I hate people rant. I thought she was going to rant on about how people are stupid and stuff like that, but really, it's about a freaking horse, which I'm okay with this video. I like it. A lot of things she said is correct, so let's watch it.
Alright, so I am genuinely pissed off right now. I'm not pissed off because I'm offended. I'm pissed off because of my, not all of my subscribers, most of my subscribers are people who actually know what they're doing with horses and know a lot about horses and love horses and cherish horses and treat horses like they're part of their own family. And I am making this video because I love you guys. I love my subscribers. I love all my fans. But I have to be straight up and honest with you guys, and I'm not going to bullshit anybody right now. What I'm here to say is that I have values, I have morals and values that I stand for. And I stand for those morals and values when it comes to every single animal, every single human being. I believe every animal should be treated equally, which is why I'm vegan. I believe that every human being should be treated equally, which is why I support the LGBT community, gay rights, why I support everything like that. No matter your beliefs, it is not your job to dictate how someone or something else spends their life or
Alright, so basically I agree with about 90% of what you said, except for the gay stuff.
how they're treated. Every living being on this planet has their own body, mind, heart, and soul, their own thinking, their own capacity to feel fear and pain. There is no reason why anybody should be dictating how another living creature feels.
Correct.
I'm here to make this video because in my most recent video that I uploaded today, a few hours ago, there were a ton of people who were so supportive of the video. They're like, yeah, people use whips way too much. They shouldn't be used. There were a ton of English people, only English. Notice that there were no Western people on there. There were a ton of English people on there saying, well, crops are totally fine. You've got to show the horse who's boss. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. Now, if you were one of the English people that commented saying, I use my crop for cues and direction, that's totally fine. I have nothing against people using crops for directions. I've used them for directions and cues before where you're just lightly tapping their shoulder or their behind just to get them to move around or something. That's fine. But there's a ton of English people out there that are denying the fact that you do hit your horses. You can't sit there and lie straight to my face in the comments and say, I don't hit my horse, I don't hit my horse. You might not hit your horse, but the majority of the English world does. I've been in the English world for 7 years, people. I am not new to the English world. I have been and lived in it for 7 years. I know the kind of people that live in the industry. I know that pretty much every single English trainer out there will tell somebody it's okay to beat their horse with a crop because
It's not. Believe me, I do not think that's right.
horses have thick skin and they won't feel it. It's okay if your horse refuses to jump to give them a good smack on the ass because they deserve it.
Nope.
And you've got to show them who's boss, right? If you are one of those people who is literally commenting saying, I've got to show my horse who's boss, take your bullshit, get out of my channel, unsubscribe, leave. I don't want you on my channel. I don't stand for that as a human being. That is against my morals and values. I won't stand for it on my channel. If you comment any of that bullshit again on my channel, you will be blocked. I don't want people like that watching my videos. You are the most ignorant, closed-minded bigots I have ever met. You would not want somebody treating you like that. I look at it this way. If you're using a crop for cues, that's totally fine. I get it. I use other stuff for cues just as much. There are good and bad ways to use equipment. Personally, I think that nobody should have to use a crop. I ride English and I compete English just fine without ever having to use riding crops. I've ridden horses who people say can only be ridden with riding crops, and I'll ride them without a riding crop just fine. There are other ways to give the horse cues, other ways to get the horse to move around. Most of the time when horses don't move, it's because they're expecting to get hit by a crop, or they're pissed off that you're hitting them with the crop, so they'll go against you. They'll stand there. They'll be like, bitch, I'm not going to move if you're going to keep hitting me. Most of the time, crops are the reason people have to use them, because horses get so used to the crops that people have to use them because the horse doesn't know how to ride without them, which is sad. If you can't teach your horse how to ride without a riding crop, that's sad. It's one thing if you're using them for directional purposes or cues, just like I would use a lunge whip or a dressage whip or anything like that. I clearly stated in the video, do not hit your horse, and most people understood. Most people were like, yeah, you know, I don't hit my horse, but I use it for cues, and that's fine. But like I said, if you are one of those assholes out there that literally had the audacity to come onto my channel and comment saying, I beat my horse or I hit my horse because I've got to show him who's boss. I've got to show him who's on top. I've got to show him he can't push me around. He can't push me around. I'm bigger than him. I'm badder than him. I'm only 100 pounds. I've got to show him who's boss because he's 1,000 pounds. I can't let him push me around. Get off. I want you to literally right now click the unsubscribe button and leave. I don't want you watching my videos. If you are a closed-minded asshole like that, I don't want you watching any of my videos anymore. Goodbye. People, you need to...
Alright, guys, so everything so far pretty much that she said I've liked, except for earlier when
realize you need to build a relationship with your horse. Saying that I'm on top and he's on bottom is not a relationship. Those horses always end up being the horses with problems. Why do you think you're having to whip them to make them say, I'm on top and you're on bottom? Maybe that's because you don't have a relationship with your horse, and that's why you have to beat them all the time so they remember. I have seen so much damage caused by riding crops in the English industry, and that's why so many butthurt English people came onto my channel on my last video and were disliking the video. That's fine with me. I mean, you grow up your whole life with English trainers telling you this bullshit about how horses have thick skin. Even if they did have thick skin, which they don't, and they actually feel more pain than we do, it doesn't matter that they're big, they still feel more pain than we do. And even if they didn't, the point is you don't treat animals that way. There are amazing ways to build relationships with animals without having to hit them at all. If you think you are on top and your horse is on bottom, I hope something happens to you. I hope that one day your horse throws you off and you really see who was in control the whole time. Because let me tell you something, you are not in control. You might beat that horse and abuse that horse enough for that horse to cower down to you, but eventually you're going to get your ass on a horse that says, what do you think you're doing to me? I'm on top, you're just a little scrawny 100-pound girl. I can throw you off, I can even kill you. If you don't learn how to respect an animal to get respect, then it's gonna end so badly for you, and I hope it does. Because I know that sounds harsh, but people need to stop treating animals, especially horses, like machines. They need to stop treating them like it's a piece of property that they can use for their own enjoyment and their own fulfillment, which would be showing or something. I mean, it's like if your horse doesn't jump over a jump, what does your English trainer teach you to do? Whack them, because they're supposed to go over the jump. Do you not think that that's a living, breathing animal with a heartbeat and feelings and the capacity to feel pain and fear? No, you think that it's just a piece of machine that's gonna win you a fancy fucking ribbon. Like, I'm sorry, but if you think that way, leave. I don't want you watching my videos because that goes against everything I train and work for. That goes against everything that I believe in. I do not treat animals like they're a piece of shit that I just walk over. I treat animals like they're equal to myself. Animals are equal to me. I would not do anything to an animal that I wouldn't let them do to me in return. I get it. You have to be the parent before the friend, but that rarely ever comes into play unless you're doing basic training with your horse. If you're doing basic training with your horse and your horse is biting or kicking or whatever, you shouldn't even be riding anyway. You need to get off and do some more groundwork because your horse obviously wasn't trained properly in the first place. I would never treat a horse in such a way that I wouldn't mind being treated myself. Why do you think my horse isn't locked up in a stall? I wouldn't want to be locked up in a stall. I let him be a horse. I let him go out and graze and live and run and buck and kick and experience what being a horse really is. Why do you think I don't ride him with a bit? I wouldn't want a piece of metal stuck into my mouth and be yanked around all goddamn day.
So anyway, guys, so this YouTuber called Riley Link 14. Apparently, she makes a lot of horse videos. The only video of hers that I've watched. I guess she's a horse rider, and she got mad about something that some English people wrote down in her comments about beating horses with whips. And so, figured I'd check it out. Looking for a video to make, and I found this video. Seemed pretty interesting, so I checked it out, and that's what I got. And I agree with a lot of stuff she said. I subscribe to her. Suggest you guys subscribe to her to see more stuff about this. I guess she does rants. I don't know. It's really the only video that I saw of hers, and I agree with most of everything she said. I agree with everything she said about the horses for sure. So, anyway, guys, guess I'll see y'all next time. Bye!